Greetings and welcome to the Dakota County Star Podcast, the weekly podcast of the Dakota County Star newspaper published in South Sioux City, Nebraska. I'm Mike Carnes, publisher of the Dakota County Star and your host for our weekly podcast where we talk about what's going on in South Sioux City and the rest of Dakota County, highlight what is in this week's edition of the Dakota County Star, and discuss whatever other issues happen to be bouncing around inside that space between my ears. The Dakota County Star Podcast is sponsored by Maricela Morales, your Aflac Bilingual Benefits Advisor, located in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Give her a call at 712-259-6580. And now, time to launch the rockets and blast off with another edition of the Dakota County Star Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the Dakota County Star Podcast here on DakCoStar.com. I'm your host, Mike Carnes, and we're here to talk about everything and anything relating to Dakota County, your home for everything that is Dakota County news with the Dakota County Star. And this week, we go to the bullpen this week. We had plans for something this week and had a little change of plans. So you always make a call to the bullpen when you need to. And the mayor of South Sioux City, Koch, is here with us this week. And he's always good to give us 3 good innings, if nothing else. So I don't know what kind of arm he's got, but we'll make it through anyway. Right? Mr. Mayor, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing good. Good. As we were recording this, we got some stormy weather moving in, so hopefully we can get this in before the rain hits.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I like the old saying in Caddyshack. I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for a little bit. I think we'll keep playing. So,
yeah, sounds good.
So lots of stuff going on with the city right now. We've got the Inland Port Authority situation going on that is future development for the city. We've got a casino that's going to be coming here in about a year. We got a racetrack that's going to open up this Saturday, and just a bunch of stuff going on in the city right now.
Yep.
How are things going there at the city office? Everything. Nobody's sitting around waiting for something to do. Obviously.
Yeah, there's plenty to do. We have a lot of activity. With this Inland Port Authority, let's talk about. If you don't mind, we'll talk about that first. We were one of a few. I don't know how many cities. I think 3 or 4 that were given this grant to work at Inland Port. And what that means is to create a zone for economic development. And unfortunately, and make a plan for it and how we want it developed. What businesses do we want to attract? What infrastructure do we have in place to build those businesses? Unfortunately, that money did not make it through this year, the legislature. So there is no money this year, and we don't know when it will. But we're hoping in the next maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. And so what we've decided to do is kind of like the old ARPA money, shovel ready. So we have teamed with one of our engineers, Olson Associates, and we're going to have them put together a plan. It's going to include South Sioux City, Dakota City, and the CDA, which is the economic development arm of the city. And
it's the Community Development Authority?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, an agency.
Yeah, or an agency, right.
Yep, and so they're going to... So we have all the acres, we have the land where we want to do this Inland Port Authority study. And so they're going to come in, and we're going to collaborate with them, and the 3 entities, and plus we'll collaborate with Ho-Chunk, Lance Morgan, and we'll see what we're interested in, what do we want to see there, and we'll be getting input from around the city. And then once we get that input, a lot of it, like I said, some of it will be industrial, and it depends on where the railroad spur is. We're not going to put a spur across Highway 20. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to put a spur across there. So if it's not there, it's not going to be there. So, but like you might have an industrial zone, entertainment zone, and that's the way we're going to set it up. Maybe retail zone, and we need a plan instead of just hodgepodge start adding businesses. We don't want a clothing store next to a sewer plant. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So that's the reason for the plan. Mm-hmm. So then when the money does come across, it gets funded again. They can take a look at our area and say, hey, these guys are ready. They know what they're doing. They have a plan. They've done the homework. They know where their infrastructure is. They know where utilities are. And the cities that have been awarded before the money ran out, that's what they did, and they recommended you have to do that if you want to be in the running for this. So we're being proactive. It's going to cost us, our portion is going to be $38,000, which is down from over $50,000 because we're going to jump in with, like I said, Dakota City and Community Development Agency. So we're very happy about that. We're hoping to get that done, and so we're going to get input. We want to see what everybody is looking for, but it's an opportunity for us to continue to grow South Sioux City, and it's dynamic, it's new, and just keep our city growing in the right direction.
And Dakota County's involved in this too, as well. Is that correct?
I believe they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. I think they are.
Okay.
I'm not totally up on all of that, but yes, I believe they are.
All right. Now I've seen the map of what the Inland Port Authority designated area is. And it when you look at it from above, it is a huge piece of land, or a huge drawing of the area, because you're talking everything east of Dakota Avenue to the river, plus you're going south of the Roth Industrial Complex,
Yep.
and then also across Highway 77 there,
West,
in that empty lot to the west there. So
Yeah.
it's a huge, about 1,600 acres.
It's a lot, yes, right around there.
Yeah, and that's a lot of space to have to try to put stuff together, and you want to put stuff in places that make sense. You don't want, like you say, you don't want to put a restaurant next to a sewer plant.
Right.
But the thing I like about it is that you have that option to say this, we want this to go right here, and I think that's really important for the city, because especially when you have Highway 20 going across the river here, you want to have something that when people come across the river there and they look across South Sioux City, what's the first thing they're going to see?
Exactly.
You know, and if you have, I think if you have that entertainment center district right there in that north corner, that's going to be a great advertising piece, a great calling card for the city to see an entertainment district with a racetrack and a casino and that coming in.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Mike. And it's maybe may have some sports bars. Gonna have the casino coming in. That will be a huge draw. Well, you're right. There's a ton of land back there, so it's kind of exciting. Whatever we want to put in there, it's our vision, and that vision isn't set in stone once we get it there. I mean, what type of businesses. But we have to have it organized, like you said. The restaurant next to a sewer plant. That's the reason you do this, and the money we will get from the state will help us achieve that.
Right. Now, how much money is expected to be contributed by the state on this?
I'm not sure on that. It's in the millions. So, but I'm not positive. I'm sure it probably depends on how much money they have available, and how many cities are competing for it.
Yeah.
So we are one of the ones that actually.
And there's 5 cities, I believe, right?
Yes.
Omaha, Bellevue.
Yes.
And then
Beatrice.
Is Beatrice one? Okay, Grand Island. I think
Grand Island,
and
yes.
in South Sioux.
In South Sioux.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just because we got picked as one, and we beat out some formidable cities to be picked as one.
Sure.
That doesn't mean we get the money. We still have to work for it and make sure we're ready, and we have a good plan. We have it set out. We have everything looking good. There's a good chance we'll get the money.
Yeah. Now, when people think of Port Authority, they think of ships coming
Yes.
in, and where is the ship coming in South Sioux City? Because we don't really have a port as was it. But the Port Authority designation, you have to have certain. There's I think four things that you need to have at least 2 of them, and we have I think 3. I think we have the airport. Well, we don't really have the airport.
Well, it was close to us. We have the railroad spur.
We have the railroad spur. We have the river.
And the river.
And then we have 2-lane highways.
Yes.
Or freeways.
Yes. Oh no, I think that's one of the main reasons we got it, because we almost had every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The Port Authority, when I first saw this, I'm thinking, what in the heck is this?
Yeah.
A Port Authority, that little chunk of river we have.
Hey, we don't see too many boats on
That's
the river.
right.
So
That's right.
At least big boats.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that's already going up there is the Atticad racetrack, and the racetrack first races are going to be held this Saturday. And I don't know what involvement you've had on that, but we have a story in this week's edition of the Star on that, and I was impressed, as I've driven by there several times. And when they first started back in late May, early June, it was just a big pile of dirt,
mud hole.
And with the weather we've had this summer, we have quite a bit of rain, and I was kind of wondering, they were saying, middle of August they were going to have a race. And I was like, well, they better have some hip waders on, because it's
right.
It's big mud hole down. But they've made some incredible progress out there, and got it all ready to go, and it looks like it's going to be a great fit out there in that location.
Yeah, once again, you're exactly right. We drive by it. I don't know how many people have asked me, what is going on out there? What are they putting up? Tell them it's a racetrack. It looks like just a big mud hole. but they've got it done. They've been grading it, and they got that thing really close to the road. Is the first thing I noticed. They've used up their parcel of land. They've used every inch of it. You know, it looks like a racetrack, and you're right. Tomorrow, I think at noon you can get in, and 1 o'clock the races start. I think there's going to be several races, and I think everybody I talked to very excited about going to the races. And you know, you don't have to be a gambler to go to a horse race. You can just go watch the races. You know?
They'll have some other stuff going on out there. They got the Winnebago dancers are going to be out there doing some dancing. They've got some kids stuff going on. And they also have a hat contest. So if you've got a derby hat, that's that's.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't have a derby hat. I've got a fishing hat. That's about,
I got a Nebraska hat. That's what
I got a bunch of baseball caps back home, but
yeah.
But and that's kind of the lead into what will eventually be a gambling center for South Sioux City, which is something that I think a lot of people in the community have been excited about ever since that got passed back in, I think it was 2020. I think is when the gambling thing got passed.
Yep.
And talking to the Ho-Chunk people, I was talking to Lance Morgan when it first got passed, and I was a little disappointed to hear that the South Sioux was going to be the last ones to get a casino, because they have the properties in Omaha and Lincoln as well. Yes. But it all made sense when he explained it, that they wanted to build those two facilities there because in the case of Lincoln, there's no gambling market there, so they've got the run of the place.
Yes, they do.
In Omaha's a big enough city. You've got Harrah's and the Horseshoe right across the river there, and then the Ponca Tribe Casino in Carter Lake. So you got 3 casinos over there, but you also have a population of about 1 million people.
About 1 million people, yes.
So one more casino there is a good idea.
It's doable.
And if I remember Lance telling me this correctly, Siouxland actually on a per capita basis has more gambling opportunities per capita than I think even Las Vegas.
Wow.
Which is like, that's mind blowing to think. But then you think. You have the slot machines in North Sioux. Yep. You have the Hard Rock. Right. You have Winnevegas. You have Blackbird Band. And then not very far away is the Grand Falls Casino in Sioux Falls, which is out of the area, but still,
Well, you got that one in Sioux Falls. You got one in Emmitsburg, Iowa.
Yeah.
You got one in Niobrara. So I mean, there's
quite a few facilities.
Yes.
Within a short drive of here.
Yes.
So it made sense to build those 2 casinos, and not only build those casinos, but then learn from those opportunities, because talking with the people this week, these are their first casinos. Ho-Chunk hasn't been in the casino building business until they got involved with this.
Right. And
so what they've been able to learn from building those casinos in Lincoln and Omaha, they're going to bring here, and they'll be able to scale down that. They're not going to build a huge facility like the one in Omaha and Lincoln. They don't have that kind of space here, but they've got space that they can, and they said they're going to utilize every bit of it.
And they are
to build the best facility they have. So it'll be really interesting to see when that opens up. I think it's going to be spring of 27. I think is when it'll
about 2 more years.
Open. So it'll be interesting to see what that ends up looking like.
And you're right about using the space, because they did that in the horse track. They used every inch of space. It's almost like the horses come around the corner. If they trip, they'll fall on the highway. But I mean, but they used every inch of that.
Yeah.
And so it's a great thing. And their casinos in Lincoln, Omaha, they're beautiful.
Oh, they are. They're beautiful. I've been in both facilities. I haven't been in Lincoln since they completed the second stage, and I think they were just finishing up Omaha the last time I was there. But both facilities look fantastic, and if they bring whatever they bring out of that experience to here is, I think people here are going to be very impressed with what ends up being built here in South Sioux.
You like to gamble, Siouxland's the place to be.
Yeah, and another nice thing is more jobs, more more opportunity. Of course, then you have your housing situation that you guys, I know you guys have been working very hard on as well, trying to get that caught up too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. You're right. Yep. We're working on housing. It's an ongoing issue for everybody.
Yeah.
We got four solid builders, not counting Ho-Chunk, because they're continue to develop the area they bought.
Right.
So housing is continuing. We're trying to build more residential houses. The subject here. So we like families. If we can help them get into a house as opposed to an apartment, we think that builds more stability in a community. And so one of our goals is to get more people in houses.
Yeah. And another thing, going back to Ho Chunk, I was talking to one of their people here earlier this week. They the space out to north there. My brain's not with me on today, but out there along the river.
Oh yeah.
I did not know this, but they said that it is actually up higher from the river than it is over at where the soccer complex is.
Absolutely.
So this last flooding we had,
nothing.
The flooding hit the soccer field pretty hard, but they managed to avoid any of the flood damage that we had in the park area.
You're exactly right.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yes.
That's amazing to me.
They totally dry. That flood of 2011. I think it's whenever that 10 I think it was 11. And that flood came. That place we thought, that's going to be underwater. Not anything. Nothing. and it's just like you. We all thought this was going to be the place, but once the river turned the corner up by Scenic Park, started heading south. Stayed in the banks. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so, and it's a beautiful area out there. I know that they've been a little slow in getting houses built out there, but I think once things get rolling here, I think.
Well, I think once they refocus, and I was just out there the other day, driving around, and we just driving around down there. It is so beautiful. We got, as you know, that new plastic road, the only plastic road made by plastic bags from Hy-Vee or wherever, Walmart. We have that down there now. That was one of the only we got paid for by a state grant. We have such a big, beautiful park. That park is huge, and we have a dog park there. And we got the Vietnam Wall, and we have a lot of space. There's a shelter house. But anyway, just down there by where Ho Chunk has built their property and along that boulevard there, it's developing. That's going to develop. There's going to be at some point we're going to have a new school somewhere, and so anyway, that's just a very it attracts people to South Sioux City. That Vietnam Wall is a huge attraction.
Yeah,
huge. But the whole park, the whole thing down there is just really top notch, done right. And the city takes care of the grass, and they got that new Korean memorial down there. I think we put that up a year ago.
Yeah,
they put it up. So anyway, So housing is an issue. We're working on that. Ho Chunk, I think when they get more focused, I think their casinos and stuff, I think they're going to refocus on South Sioux City. They've got some great plans for housing. And like Ogden, Hovey, Roy Don, Del Hans, these are some of the builders in South Sioux area. They're moving out and they're starting to build new houses. And back to what I said earlier, we would like to see more individual homes for people to live in and to get into a home with their families. And what we can do to help them, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get economical, affordable homes for people to move into and just just have their own space. So that's where me as mayor, been one of my goals since I came in here. I think we have enough apartments in South Sioux City. Over half of our town has been rentals. It's just fine. I lived in an apartment a lot of my life. But at some point, you want to graduate. I did anyway. I wanted to graduate into a house. Then when you get older, then you may want to go back to an apartment.
Right.
So it's kind of and so. But anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're focused on, and we're just trying to get more housing built.
Yeah. Moving on from this, you mentioned the street made out of recycled plastic. A lot of people don't realize this, but South Sioux City is really an interesting community in that there's a lot of innovations that other cities are maybe just now getting involved in, that South Sioux City's been on top of for a long time. In fact, I think what was it that we had the number one or in the nation in, what was it again?
Oh, bike paths.
Bike paths, yeah. Number of bike paths we have in this city is incredible, and South Sioux City actually has the most bike paths per capita in the United States.
And I think the reason for that is we have a longtime city administrator, Lance Hedquist, and he this loves the guy's movie. He's toward the end of his career, but he is not slowing down. Mm-hmm. He continues to be innovative and look for new things. He keeps us on the cutting edge. These bike paths, more per capita, and we've talked about this. The number one thing that attracts people to a community is bike paths. South Sioux City is a flat community. We have like 22, 23 miles of bike paths. You can get on that bike path, head over to Sioux City, and you can go to North Sioux City. You can almost make it all the way to Lamar's. They're building that. You can go right from South Sioux City. Mm-hmm. And, so bike paths are a big thing. And something else, a little fact here is South Sioux City. Let's see. 51% of our energy is renewable in South Sioux City. And that's kind of once again, that's something that we've worked hard on. And we have, right now the city has 4 electric vehicles. And we have 10 charging stations in South Sioux City.
There's one at the city office. There's one at Hy-Vee.
One by the library.
Library, right?
And the one at Hy-Vee is a fast charging station. I don't know why. At some point they're all going to have to be fast. But the biggest thing with battery, obviously, is storage, electricity and storage, so they can't keep it doesn't stay very long. But yeah, South Sioux City is it's always been innovative. Lance has always kind of gotten us out there and trying new things and doing new things. The plastic bag road, who would ever have thought they could even do something like that? But in the future, as this country and as the world renewables, we're producing tons and tons of garbage. And some countries like Singapore and other countries over there, there's no waste. They use everything in their garbage. They recycle it as energy and they burn it again. And I think this is just it's a small portion of that, but it's just a little snapshot of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in this community that you won't find in other communities. And one of the things that you mentioned was renewable energy. The South Sioux City has the solar park out there on the south edge of town that helps with our electricity generation. And I know that we have an issue going on here in the county with the project out there to the west toward Hubbard that is being looked at by the county planning and zoning, and ultimately will be decided by the county commissioners there. But that's something that is gonna. It's kind of a tough situation because I think people who live out there, they don't want stuff like that,
solar panels all over the place.
Yeah, they don't want to take have that outside their window all the time. But at the same time, this area is a growing area, and in order to meet those needs, because you got industries that are looking to in that Port Authority is a prime example. You got industries that are looking to move here, and the energy that they're gonna need. We don't have. It's not like you can.
You can't just
turn on another switch and away we go. Well, that you have to have that energy, and so it's kind of a catch-22. It's got to be somewhere, but where are you gonna put it?
It's funny because 3 to 5 years ago we had an excess of electricity in this country, huge excess. Then all of a sudden you start seeing all these electric cars come up, and they have to be recharged and stuff. All of a sudden we went from an excess to we may not have enough electricity. Another thing is, talking about electricity for the city of South Sioux City and the county, these solar panels, they base your annual electricity rate off your peak usage. And so what we have a tendency to do here, what we try to do is, when it hits peak, to shut down our electricity and use other forms to keep it going. And one of those is the solar. So we can actually reduce our cost for every person in South Sioux City, every business in South Sioux City, by using those solar panels and knock that peak time off, to cut that rate down as much as we can. And that's one of the reasons we're doing it. Plus it's environmental and all that stuff too, but it all comes down to cost. Everything is rising in cost, including utilities. In utilities, if it becomes scarcer and scarcer as new electric vehicles, and some states are being crazy and saying, like California, all vehicles have to be electric. I don't see that happening here, but what do I know? But what that does, it just takes more electricity, unavailability. It's not on the grid anymore, and so it's electricity could be an issue moving forward. But so what we're doing right now, we're just trying to keep the cost down as much as we can, environmentally friendly, and just try to be, like I said, we have 51% of our energy is renewable here, which is awesome.
Yeah, I still live in Wayne, still planning on moving up here, but living out there, I can see the windmills that were built out in the western part of Wayne County and then on into southern Dixon County, and far be it from me to pass judgment or anything, but if I have to look at something, if I'm a landowner, and I have to look at something out my door, I would rather have solar panels than one of those windmills, because those things they're huge. They make a lot more noise than the solar panels will.
None, yeah.
And then if something happens to those solar panels, you just pop it out, pop a new one in. If something happens to those windmills, they've started on fire. One of the arms has come off.
The blades.
One of the blades. I mean, that's that's a whole other issue because those things have to land somewhere.
Well, it's funny you say that because I don't know, it must have been 10 years ago. I was at a meeting with Mid-America and they were talking about their windmills. And you know what the number one killer of bald eagles in Iowa is?
Windmills.
Windmills.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, it's the number one killer of birds, I guess.
Yeah. I don't get that, but you're right. Aesthetically, they don't look that great. And there's a debate. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a debate. There's all the electricity it took to build that. You're going to get that back.
Yeah. The I can't remember where I heard, but there is more energy spent on the building those things, transporting them, erecting them, than they will ever make in a lifetime.
Yeah. So it's and then plus they get they're subsidized. I don't know what's that situation on that, but in Iowa for years they were subsidized. And so the government was just pouring money into that.
Yeah. And
is it worth it? I don't know. It's debatable.
It's still. I guess it's still a fairly new technology.
Yeah,
so
it is.
The jury's still kind of out on that.
You got to start somewhere. If you're ever going to have that, you got to start somewhere. And they put those. You probably heard they put those big windmills on the ocean now. They float them out there. I mean, wind is out there. Mm-hmm. How do you capture it economically?
Yeah.
And how do you store it?
Yeah.
The biggest problem with electricity, the storage, is the huge problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but another advantage to solar is that it's sunshine.
Yeah.
It's the sun is free. It's always, the light is always, and we'll probably always have a sun. The sun is supposed to burn out eventually sometime. But I think we'll all be dead by then.
We'll all be long gone.
Yeah, knock on wood. And I think looking outside, it's still bright, so we're okay. But as far as what else is going on in the city, I mean, we're talking about some of the unique things about the city. What are some other unique things about the city from? Well,
I can tell you things that are going on as far as some of the businesses. Right now, we're seeing expansions in several businesses in South Sioux City. One is Richardson's. They make granola bars out there just south of the Crystal Cafe. So they're expanding. I think Ingredient, they are also expanding. They make meat out of peas, and they're expanding. We have Omega that's made railroad ties and railroad crossings. They're expanding. We have a lot of big businesses in South Sioux City, and I tell you, they like it here. And we have Gherkin Windows. They're expanding. So we have a lot of economic development going on. And the Marina Inn, as everybody knows, we put in that multi-million-dollar convention center. Mm-hmm. That is huge. And I tell you, I work at Great West Casualty, and we have people come in, and we get so many compliments. Wow, you guys have got it going on with that convention center. And well, the city of South Sioux doesn't have it going on, but the Marina Inn and that team that does that, they have invested in South Sioux City. Something else we're doing is we're adding a $62 million expansion on our brand new sewer plant. We've totally just about got ourselves weaned off Sioux City at 100%. This will be the end of it. That'll be the end of any residential sent to Sioux City. Plus, it'll give us some some capacity for expansion of industry. And also, we've got a $16.5 million grant from the state to expand our water plant, and we get that in the next 2 years. And the reason that's important is because these businesses that come in here, the first three things: water, sewer, and electricity. Mm-hmm. And of course they may be a railroad spur, but water and sewer and electricity are huge. Right. And right now
you have to have that infrastructure.
You got to have that infrastructure. Yeah. They wouldn't even give you a look, mm-hmm. and we have it. We have Protix coming in Dakota City. They're going to be coming in, and they make the grubs. And it's going to be a huge building. I can't remember. I think 30 to 40 employees, but they raise these little trays, grubs, and they use it for different feed and things like that. And so that is coming to South Sioux City / Dakota City. So that's going on. Mm-hmm. I was told. I was talking to Lance this morning. Lance Etquist, city administrator. He told me something interesting fact. We have the only. Only municipal tree orchard in the state. Our tree orchard. The only one. Right. And that building down there at the tree orchard was made out of wood from trees decimated by the ash borer.
Really?
And so my smart aleck comment to Lance was, so we made a building out of rotten trees?
next windstorm, that thing will be gone.
Yeah. No, but yeah, they actually did. They made a building out of that, and it's that's where they store their stuff and things like that. But and something else about the city, and about where Ho-Chunk has their land, they're going to build the houses eventually. Wherever there's a wetland, there's water. It's evaluated if they think that's a wetland. If you remove that wetland, you have to replace it somewhere else, double the size. So in other words, they're out there and they want to build more houses out there. Whoever wants to build them, that's what they have to do, and they have to arrange for it if it's designated wetland, which guarantees those wetlands survive. So I thought that was interesting. They have to double the size of that wetland if they remove one. So, some of that stuff is it causes more time and effort and money to do it, but at the end of the day, it protects our environment too.
Right.
And I think that's important.
And I love the idea of when you're talking about the wastewater plant. I love the idea of I don't know if divorcing is the right word, but it is weaning ourselves off of Sioux City, and kind of I think that's one of the things people, when they look at South Sioux City, they think of it as just a suburb of Sioux City.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great way to really declare your independence, I guess, for lack of a better word, but to say no, hey, we're our own entity here. This is our we're our own community.
Yeah.
We just happen to be across the river from the big city.
And you are so right about that. And I don't know how many years ago it was, but I believe I was mayor at that time. We decided to build our own sewer plant because the city of Sioux City gave us a letter and said, you got 5 years and you need to be off our plant.
Right.
They have their issues too.
Sure.
And so we thought,
yeah, they're growing too.
They're growing too.
It's not like everybody's leaving Sioux City to come here.
Yeah, and then we were using up their capacity with our business, and we needed more. Mm-hmm. So we just had a discussion and said, do you always want to be dependent on whatever another entity tells us what to do, or should we just build our own?
Right.
And thank God we decided to build our own, a $42 million sewer plant. And that cost has probably 40-50% increase since we built it. And so now we have our own. We need more capacity. We'll deal with it ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't have to go to anybody and ask, bended knee, can we have more capacity? Right. You don't have that.
And you're also a slave to whatever they want to charge you for that.
Exactly. You're a slave for the rates. Now we're going to have all our residential classes, so some residential come over there. We're going to build this pipeline, put it in the expanded plant. We're going to be 100% independent, totally dependent on ourselves. And some you think, well, that's kind of ridiculous. Why can't Sergeant Bluff, Sioux City, South Sioux City, North City all get together and do one thing? That sounds good, but at the end of the day, it's really tough. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it, and who's really in charge? Well, I'm the biggest user, so I should be in charge.
Right.
We were just done with that. And so we did our own, and we are so happy we did. Now our businesses love it because now they just deal with us.
Yeah.
Oh, we need more capacity, and then we can work with the state of Nebraska. We don't need permission. We just do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And water, the same thing. We still buy some water from Sioux City, and we want that because we need to have a backup plan. And it's not that expensive. And thanks to Sioux City for continuing that with us. But we're gonna upgrade these water plants. But we are becoming 100% independent, and there's a lot of advantages of that.
Yes, there is.
So
yeah, definitely. Talking with Mayor Rod Koch here on the Dakota County Star podcast. We focused a lot on city issues going on here with all the development that's going on, and of course it's football season.
Yes,
coming up, and I know you're a big football fan. What do you think about the Huskers this year? What are they?
Well, once again, hardcore Nebraska fan, just like you and everybody else around here. Have I been drinking the Kool-Aid? Oh yeah. And. Just to make myself mad, when I get up and work out in the morning, I watch old reruns from last year, and I watched UCLA Nebraska, and I just saw how you can't make it up how we lose games. But anyway, my prediction is if Nebraska can learn how to finish a football game, there's no reason we can't end up 9-3, 10-2. You got to remember, I went through the 80s and 90s when you lost 2 games in a season. You were upset.
Oh yeah. You lost one game. Everybody was calling for Tom Osborne's
job. Yeah.
Even beating Iowa State by 30. We should have beat them by 40.
Yeah.
Should have beat Kansas by 50. We only beat them by 35. Jesus.
I remember that year.
What's wrong with Osborne anyway?
Well, the year that we beat Wyoming, I think by 10 points, 42-32. Remember that? And we had a really good team.
Yeah.
Man, I was concerned.
Yeah.
And then we went and we trounced everybody else after that. But it's like Tom Osborne said, I never forgot. He goes, to be good, to be a champion. He goes, first of all, you got to be good, no question. He goes, but you got to be lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just got to have, the teams from 94, 95, 97, those teams were special. I mean, they were so dominant. Three of the best teams of all time. I mean, and I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on that. That's just, a lot of people say that. Those three teams were three of the best college football teams ever assembled. But, even then, you have to have good things happen. 97, the miracle catch in Missouri.
Yes.
We probably should have lost that game. Somehow we found a way to win. And now we just it's the opposite. We're kind of like the Chicago Cubs of
that's right.
of the '69 season where they were up by 13 games and then went to hell in September and lost it to the Mets, and Mets end up winning the World Series. Well,
my friends that are anti-Nebraska fans, you guys lucky that catch. My comeback is, well, you know what? What about the ones we weren't lucky in? The missed field goal against Clemson in 1981. Things like that.
The missed field goal against Florida State in '93.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it was '93 and Clemson won it.
Yeah.
I remember that. And
it was Florida State that won it.
Oh, Florida State won it?
Yeah, it was Florida State.
Well, okay. So
Clemson was 83.
83, that's it.
Or 80. No, 80.
I thought it was 81.
81. Yeah, Miami was 83.
And then even watching that stupid, I can call it stupid now, we threw that pass, we should have ran it in the end zone and bounced off that guy's head.
Yeah.
I watched that, and I still sit there frozen. I can't believe that happened.
A lot of people, I remember that in the aftermath of that, a lot of sports writers said that if Tom Osborne had kicked the extra point and settled for a 31 tie, Nebraska would have been national champions.
Yep, we would have.
But he said, Tom Osborne said it never entered his mind to kick the extra point.
And I will give him credit for that because even though I wanted it just as bad as every Nebraska fan, I would not have liked that.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. Yeah, because then there's always somebody's always got to say, well, you're down by 14 to Miami, blah blah. But yeah, it never entered his mind to go for one on that play. They were going for the win.
Well, and also talking about that miracle catch. Well, think back. Was it 1982 when we played Penn State? The guy caught the ball 3 yards out of bounds and called it in.
Right, and then the guy trapped it in the end zone. And yeah.
So you want to talk about that stuff? We got plenty of horror stories.
Yeah, there's plenty of stories both directions.
It's funny. I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, but I can remember 30 years ago.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I got encyclopedic knowledge of historic moments in history, but I can't tell you. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. That was a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I think for the Huskers this year, I think the tools are in place. I think if they can get off to a good start, they've got a tough opener with Cincinnati, and it's in Kansas City, so it's not at Memorial Stadium. But I think if they can get off to a good start, the Big Ten's going to be tough. But I think the tools are in place that if all goes well, I think they can go 8-4. I'm fine with 7-5. I'm kind of this guy. Like you, I grew up during the glory years.
Uh-huh.
So where anything less than 11-0 was anything less than
unacceptable.
A championship was unacceptable.
Right.
We could go 10-1 and win our bowl game, and the season still sucked because we lost to Colorado or we lost to Oklahoma or whoever it was. But I'm at the point now where, like I said, we've fallen so far from that spot that to expect that is stupid.
Yes,
you're an idiot if you say anything over 10-2 and semifinals in the CFP. You're just dreaming. You're myopic. I think I was happy that we got to 500. Got the bowl game and got the win last year. So we finished.
Even though we somehow tried to lose that game and we never got the job done.
We somehow failed at that. So thank God. But I think this year, if we can improve on what we did last year, if we can go 7-5, 8-4,
yes,
I will accept that. If we can go 9-3, if we can go 10-2, if we can get to the Big Ten championship game and get in the college football playoff. Awesome! Yeah. I'm thrilled.
Well, one thing I'll say about Nebraska, Dylan Raiola has to start running.
Yeah,
and I know he doesn't look like he's real. Last year he didn't look like he's real solid at that, But for us to be, this is my opinion, for us to be successful, he's got to be a threat.
Yeah,
if he's not a threat, that hurts us bad.
Yeah, he's got to be the Patrick Mahomes that everybody says he wants
to look like, and
he wants to look like Patrick Mahomes. Let's play like Patrick Mahomes.
There you go.
If you can get be that run pass guy and open things up, I think that'll be great. 8 for me, 7-8 wins, get to a bowl game, college football playoff. If we can sneak in somehow, awesome. But I'm fine with that as long as one of the wins is Iowa.
That's right.
We got to beat Iowa. I am sick and tired of listening to Iowa fans.
Yeah.
Every year, the only thing we can hang our hat on right now is the historical record between the two schools. We still own that at least.
We own that.
They still have to win. I think they have to win 7 in a row to get to even with us on that. So we still have that history on it, and plus we can still we're the last time our team won a national title. We were all alive when it happened.
Yes.
Last time Iowa won a national championship, those people are.
Did they ever won one?
Oh yeah, they've won one. But the last one they won was a split national title with LSU back in 1959.
Gotcha.
You and I weren't born then.
No.
So if we weren't alive when it happened, then what do you hang on to? Right?
That's right.
Of course, a lot of people say, hey. That was Nebraska's titles was 30 years ago. What are you hanging on to?
I know. The older I get, the more I get that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. But we'll see how that goes. So, and who's your NFL team?
Vikings.
I'm
a Vikings fan.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you about the male cheerleader. Yes, no.
The male cheerleader?
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? I don't even care. That's a political answer, but I honestly I don't care. All I want is a good quarterback.
You just want to get the Super Bowl. Get the Super Bowl and win.
Well, it is my favorite team. Made it 4 times and got beat 4 times.
Yeah.
So I mean,
not all in a row like Buffalo, but
if I want to screw a team over, all I got to do is start liking them.
Well, please stay away from Seattle. Please. I beg of you.
Yeah.
We're talking with Rod Cook, Mayor of South Sioux City here on the Dakota County Star podcast, and Mr. Mayor, thanks a lot for coming in relief here and we gave us three solid innings. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Stu.
We'll have you in again very soon.
All right, thanks, Mike.
All right, we're gonna take a time out, come back with more, and let you know what's in this week's edition of the Star right after this time out. Back to the podcast in just a moment, but first I wanted to tell you about Maricela Morales. She's your local Aflac bilingual benefits advisor, and she can help your small business provide benefits to your employees at no cost to your business. If you want more information, give her a call at 712-259-6580, and she can get you all the details. There's no obligation, and she can answer all your questions. So give Maricela Morales a call at 712-259-6580, your Aflac bilingual benefits advisor in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. And we're back here on the podcast. Thanks to the mayor, Rod Cook, for stopping by and updating us on what's going on in South Sioux City. Tell you what, this is really a happening community. A lot of stuff happening here in South Sioux, and as time goes on here, we're gonna see a lot of changes in this community. A lot more stuff coming into town, including the new racetrack, the Atticad racetrack. They're going to be having their first races on Saturday, and our lead story in this week's paper was on the new Atticad track galloping toward its opening Saturday afternoon. Also, we had a semi overturned on the off-ramp there on Highway 77 with an aviation fuel in it, and caused a little spill that caused some cleanup efforts there. Also on the front page, a quick meeting for the city council and something about a high-speed pursuit that started here in Dakota County and ended up across the river in Iowa. Guy involved now facing a multiple number of offenses, including a couple of felony attempted murder charges after getting into a fight with the law enforcement. School starting and some school-related news there. This week's columns, something on Powering the Good Life by Senator Ricketts, and also some information about a bad bill that was making its way through the state legislature out of California that State Senator Glenn Meyer reporting on. My column talking about some bad news in the newspaper industry. Another conglomerate has made some major cuts and actually closed 4 newspapers in South Dakota, including one in Brookings, which is where South Dakota State University is, and a daily newspaper there was closed down. So it's kind of a disappointment in that regard. South Sioux City Police Department was involved in a speeding campaign, and the results of that are in this week's paper. Also, some pictures from the National Night Out that happened the week before. And then on the sports page, the Special Olympics soccer team getting some much needed financial support from Century 21. We got a little information on that. Also, some extension update from Julie Boyle, our library, with some updated news as well. Some pictures from National Night Out in Emerson, and some information on Hoot All Days coming up next weekend in Hubbard. We'll have a story on that in next week's paper as well. So that's it for this week's edition of the Dakota County Star. The fall sports preview going to be coming up not next week, but the week after, on August 28th. And so we're looking forward to getting that in the paper and get you some information on our area high school teams as they get ready for the fall sports season. Believe it or not, the first fall sports contest is coming up on Thursday the 21st. I think it's softball and golf, I think, are debuting on the 21st. So, but we'll have all that information in our sports preview, which will actually run on the 28th, and we'll keep you updated on the start of the season as those results come in as well. So you'll be able to get some updated information on our website too at datcostar.com, and make sure you tune back here every week as we have a new podcast that we put up every Friday, and we'll keep you updated on what's happening here in Dakota County. We're your source for Dakota County news and information. Nobody covers Dakota County like the Dakota County Star. We've been doing it since 1909. Plan on doing it long into the future. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Dakota County Star podcast here on datcostar.com. Until then, this is Mike Carnes saying I hope you have a good week. We'll see you out at Crampert Lake on Saturday morning for the 10th anniversary out there. And then also the horse races Saturday afternoon opens at 12 o'clock with 1 o'clock first race out there at the new Atticad racetrack there on G Street, on the south side of the freeway there on G Street here in South Sioux City. So have a good week. We'll see you later. Until then, take care.